Chosen one, pause for a moment, because you are drawing very near to a transformation that has been prepared through silent days, known only to you and me. The fact that you are hearing these words is not merely a passing moment in the middle of a busy life, but a reminder that you must recognize the profound movements taking place within you. I know you have sensed that something is different. A prompting you cannot easily name. An unexpected stillness that makes you unwilling to continue living in the old way, or a steady awareness that you are being led closer to a new door. Do not be afraid of these stirrings. They have not come to confuse you, but to awaken the courage that fell asleep after years of protecting yourself from disappointment, misunderstanding, and moments when hope seemed to have disappeared. I have seen how you transformed your wounds into wisdom. What once caused you to fall has now taught you how to recognize sincere people, healthy paths, and choices worthy of your life. The battles you endured are no longer merely sorrowful memories, because they have formed within you the ability to remain steady before things that once easily caused you to lose your balance. You once asked why you had to pass through so many dark places, while others seemed to move forward more easily. But you could not see what I was building in secret. I was not only preparing an opportunity for you, I was preparing you to become someone who could carry that opportunity with humility, discernment, and hands capable of preserving it. Advancement that arrives too early can become exhausting, but what comes at the appointed time will meet you in maturity. There was a season when you used silence as a shield against endless arguments. You learned that explaining yourself to those who had no desire to understand would only leave you more exhausted. You swallowed words you wanted to speak, walked away from many situations without defending yourself, and allowed others to misunderstand you because you no longer wanted to sacrifice your peace. I know this sometimes made you feel alone. There were nights when you wished to be seen as you truly were, acknowledged without having to prove yourself, and heard without having your words distorted. Yet it was in that silence that your inner voice was purified. You began to recognize which words arose from pain, which were guided by maturity, and which things did not need to be spoken because the results would eventually reveal the truth. Now, the season of withdrawing because of fear is coming to an end, but I am not calling you forward so that you may become loud or seek attention. I am calling you to speak with the dignity of one who understands their worth. When you speak, let your words carry healing rather than retaliation. When you establish boundaries, do so with calmness rather than bitterness. When you express what you believe, do not speak as one begging for approval, but neither should you allow confidence to become pride. A voice refined through experience does not need to be loud in order to carry weight. One sentence born from discernment can redirect a conversation, protect a future, or prevent you from returning to a cycle that once drained you. I am restoring your right to speak truth, your right to refuse what is unhealthy, and your right to walk forward without carrying guilt imposed upon you by others. The things being arranged around you may not yet be fully visible. Conversations are taking place that you have not heard. Doors are being considered before invitations reach you, and people capable of supporting you are gradually beginning to recognize what you carry. Yet do not rush to turn every expression of attention into a promise, and do not entrust your future to someone merely because they possess influence or resources. I want you to receive recognition with gratitude while still preserving discernment. Someone who sees your potential does not necessarily have the right to define you. Someone who opens a door for you does not own your voice, your worth, or your direction. The right connection will respect your dignity, nourish your abilities, and never require you to diminish your integrity in exchange for a place. You may soon meet people you never imagined would know your name. They may appear through your work, an idea, a conversation, or an introduction that seems entirely ordinary. Do not allow this to overwhelm you, because you have been prepared to stand in unfamiliar spaces without losing yourself. Remember that another person's stature does not make your value smaller. You do not need to display everything in order to impress, nor must you become a different version of yourself in order to be accepted. Be present with sincerity, perform your responsibilities well, and allow the depth formed through the years to speak for itself. The right people will recognize the steadiness within you, not only through what you are able to do, but through the way you keep your word, treat the vulnerable, and remain upright when no one is watching. The coming transition is not merely about money, position, or influence. If you look at it only through what can be possessed, you will miss something more precious that is being restored: the ability to see yourself through clear and uncorrupted eyes. I am leading you out of the posture of someone always waiting to be chosen, and into the steadiness of one who understands that they also carry the responsibility to choose what is right. You no longer need to chase every invitation, because you fear that opportunity will never return. You no longer need to cling to every relationship, because you are afraid of being left behind. You may pause, consider, and ask whether something will help you mature, preserve your peace, and align with the values you paid dearly to learn. This is genuine authority, not the ability to control every circumstance, but the freedom not to allow every circumstance to control you. I know there were times when you felt an unusual weight, as though the old story no longer fit, but the new chapter had not yet fully opened. That feeling may cause restlessness, make your dreams more vivid, or heighten your intuition concerning people and situations around you. Remain calm. Not every feeling is guidance, but feelings can invite you to slow down, observe, and become honest about things you have tried to ignore. Test them through peace, healthy fruit, and love. What is right will not continually push you into disorder, force you to act in panic, or take away your ability to reason. Pure guidance may challenge you, but it will always help you become more grounded, clear-minded, and responsible. Therefore, prepare for acceleration by completing small things. Bring order to your time, promises, finances, and unfinished responsibilities. Do not wait for a great door to open before becoming disciplined. The way you manage the present will determine how well you can preserve the future. If new resources come, use them to build rather than to display. If recognition arrives, allow it to expand your ability to serve rather than feed your pride. If more people begin listening to your voice, use it to bring clarity, protect the vulnerable, and sow hope where direction has been lost. Elevation is not a platform from which you stand above others, but a position that enables you to see farther and extend your hand to more people. My beloved child, breathe deeply and continue forward with calmness. Nothing good requires you to destroy yourself in order to obtain it. What is coming will require courage, but it will never ask you to betray purity. You passed through a hidden season, not so that you would remain in darkness forever, but so that when light reached you, you would not forget the source of your maturity. Your name may be mentioned in places you have never entered, but let your character travel ahead of your reputation. Doors may begin opening more quickly, but allow discernment to guide your steps. You are no longer a wounded person desperately searching for recognition. You are one who has been refined in silence, knows what you carry, and is ready to emerge with wisdom, compassion, and a strength that does not need to be displayed in order to be seen. My beloved child, what is forming around your life carries a precision too profound to be dismissed as coincidence. Because before you saw the door, I was already preparing the people who would stand on the other side. There are places you have never entered, where your name has already been spoken with respect. There are conversations in which you were not present, yet your ability, character, and story have quietly become part of the discussion. You do not need to force your way into every room, nor must you knock upon every door in order to receive recognition. When the right time arrives, grace will go before you, softening the hearts that need to be softened and turning the attention of discerning people toward you. What I am doing is not built upon chance, but upon a journey of preparation that has continued for a long time, through every moment you rose after pain, and every day you preserved sincerity when no one was watching. Within this arrangement, you may encounter a person who possesses many things the world admires. This person may have resources, influence, and the ability to open pathways that most people have never imagined. They may be accustomed to important decisions, luxurious spaces, and admiration from many people. Yet, not everyone capable of building an empire knows how to build peace within. Some possess everything required to be called successful, but have no place where they feel truly understood. Some are continually surrounded by crowds, yet are rarely seen as ordinary human beings, rather than as titles, positions, or sources of advantage. It is within that emptiness that what you carry becomes valuable, because you do not approach with a greedy desire to possess what belongs to them. You bring an authentic presence that money cannot manufacture. I am not bringing you into this story so that you will be overwhelmed by power or bow before wealth. I taught you through seasons of lack so that you would understand that human worth does not rest upon what can be displayed. You will be able to see beyond the outward glory and recognize the exhaustion, loneliness, and unspoken questions beneath it. While many people see only achievement, you may perceive the silence behind that achievement. While others approach in search of advantage, you know how to be present without the intention to exploit. This creates a profound difference. Your sincerity will help someone accustomed to conditional relationships understand that a connection free from calculation still exists, that listening can come without demanding repayment, and that affection does not always change according to status. Do not think this attraction is produced by outward appearance or by an image you carefully construct for the world. What truly enables the right person to recognize you is the depth formed through difficult seasons. Being misunderstood taught you to listen before judging. Loss taught you to value sincerity more than display. The nights when you wondered whether I still saw you caused your faith to become less dependent upon emotion. You were softened without becoming weak, and refined without becoming cold. After everything you endured, you still possess the ability to treat others gently, and that is one of your greatest victories. Many pass through suffering and build walls, but you learned to create doors with wise boundaries. wide enough to love and strong enough to protect your peace. The years you once called delay created a language that requires no words. The way you enter a room without competing for attention. The way you refuse to judge people by appearance. And the way you remain calm in conversations filled with pressure all reveal the person you have become. The right individual will recognize this. They may not immediately be able to explain why their inner defenses begin to lower. When they are near you, why the noise in their thoughts grows quieter, or why they can temporarily forget the role of always needing to be strong. But I know the reason. You carry the peace of someone who was once struck down by storms, but refused to allow the storm to remain inside. You carry the clarity of one who passed through shadowed days and still chose to believe that goodness could be restored. Even so, you must remember that a purposeful connection does not mean abandoning discernment. Do not hastily conclude that someone is divinely appointed merely because they are wealthy, powerful, or attentive toward you. Examine their character before considering their abilities. Observe how they treat those who can offer them nothing, how they keep their word when no one is supervising, and how they respond to the boundaries you establish. A person with influence, but without humility, can turn affection into a place of control. Someone who possesses great wealth, but lacks respect, can cause you to sacrifice your peace for a life that only appears desirable. What comes from me will not require you to betray your principles, diminish your voice, or become a shadow beside another person's success. The right connection will help both people mature through mutual respect and will never allow one to shine by making the other disappear. You are also not called to become the place where this person deposits every unhealed wound while refusing responsibility for their own restoration. Your gentleness is not permission for anyone to cross your boundaries. You may offer rest without carrying all their insecurity. You may love without rescuing someone from every consequence of their own choices. If this meeting is genuinely appointed, the person will not only seek peace within you, but will also be willing to build a safe place for you. They will not merely receive understanding, but will learn to understand. They will not treat your sincerity as something guaranteed, but will protect, value, and answer it through consistent action. Mature connection always contains healthy reciprocity, where both people support one another without turning love into dependency. I know you have sometimes wondered what the years of struggle produced besides weariness. You looked back upon your wounds and saw only the parts of yourself that seemed to have been taken away. But now you will begin to see what was formed in those very places. Pain taught you to recognize authenticity. Loneliness taught you not to chase every form of attention. Being abandoned taught you the value of steadfast presence. Your tears did not disappear. They watered the seeds of compassion, patience, and the ability to perceive what others conceal behind their smiles. You are no longer easily captivated by appearances, because you have learned that the brightest things are not always those with lasting value. This maturity will enable you to enter environments filled with influence while preserving your clarity. When the meeting occurs at the appointed time, you will not need to prove that you deserve to stand within this person's world. Remain yourself, the version of you that has matured through testing. Do not decorate your story with falsehood, and do not diminish yourself because you fear being considered insignificant. The person prepared to recognize you will not measure your worth by what you own. They will perceive strength within your silence, dignity within your simplicity, and beauty in the way you refused to turn your wounds into weapons. You do not need to compete with those who appeared before you. What truly belongs to you cannot be taken by another person, because a connection founded upon sincerity is not created through a contest for attention. Therefore, allow me to guide this story according to the rhythm of peace. Do not try to identify a specific face in everyone you meet, and do not transform every expression of attention into a great sign. Continue living responsibly, caring for what has been entrusted to you, and preserving a pure heart. What I arrange will carry its own clarity. It will not force you to live in constant doubt, pursue contradictory signals, or exchange your dignity in order to be chosen. When someone genuinely recognizes your worth, they will not only speak words that stir your emotions. They will demonstrate it through respect, consistency, and a willingness to build something lasting beside you. My beloved child, the most precious thing you carry has never been your appearance or ability to impress. It is the peace that can quiet someone who has lived too long amid noise, the sincerity that can reach a heart accustomed to being approached for advantage, and the gentle light that reminds the successful that behind every form of power, the deepest human desire is still to be seen, understood, and loved in truth. My beloved child, the appointed time for what I placed within your life is drawing very near, and the days that appeared motionless never caused the promise over you to lose its way. What is changing is not only your circumstances, work, or relationships, but the way you see yourself. For a long time, you walked like someone searching for an answer, trying to discover your place and understand why your road contained so many unfamiliar stretches. But now, I am calling you to move forward with the posture of one beginning to remember the worth, calling, and strength planted within them long ago. You do not need to continue living as though you are a question without an answer. Your identity was never erased, your name was never forgotten, and your path was never lost among life's many changes. You may not yet see the entire road, but that does not mean I have not prepared it. Sometimes, the deepest reminder does not come through a thundering voice, an astonishing sign, or an explanation that immediately makes everything clear. It arrives as a small stillness that remains within you after every outer noise has exhausted itself and faded away. You once believed this silence was emptiness, but it was actually the place where I protected you from chaotic words, borrowed fears, and opinions that did not belong to your journey. When every outward voice attempts to define you, the peace remaining within is confirmation that you are still being guided. I do not always answer through things that are easy to hear. Sometimes I answer by giving you the ability to remain standing without understanding everything. When you learn to recognize that steadiness, you will no longer run after every call merely because it is louder than the voice of wisdom. I know you wore silence like a protective garment throughout many seasons. You were not silent because you had nothing to say, nor because you were too weak to defend yourself. You remained silent because certain conversations only drained you without producing understanding, and because lengthy explanations merely gave unwilling listeners more opportunities to distort your meaning. There were times when speaking cost you your peace, so you learned to preserve precious things in places not everyone had permission to touch. I allowed you to grow through those silences so that you could distinguish between words arising from wounds and words born from clarity. You once wanted to answer immediately to prove that you were not wrong. But I taught you that not every misunderstanding requires correction, and not every accusation deserves your energy. Silence can cause someone to withdraw through fear, but within you, it became a furnace of refinement. During the days when no one listened to you, you learned to listen more deeply. When no one offered affirmation, you learned to remain steady without living upon praise. When your words were dismissed, you learned to speak only after what was within you had matured. This restraint did not remove the power of your voice. It cleansed your voice of haste, bitterness, and the need to win every argument. You do not need to say much in order to be recognized. One word spoken from peace can travel farther than hundreds of words thrown out in anger. One sentence, carrying both truth and love, can open a door that no amount of noise could move. Now, the assignment is moving into another stage. The season of holding everything inside is gradually ending, and I am teaching you to use your voice with new steadiness. This does not mean that you will become loud, compete for attention, or appear merely to prove that you are stronger than others. Genuine authority does not need to perform. It is present in the way you say what must be said without fear, establish limits without cruelty, and protect truth without humiliating another person. From this point forward, you must learn not to swallow the things that need to be expressed, merely because you fear disappointing someone. Gentleness does not require silence in the presence of wrongdoing, and love does not force you to accept every form of treatment. I have refined you long enough that your words no longer need to be governed by desperation, but can be directed by discernment and compassion. Be careful with every word you speak during this season, because a healed voice can create more than you imagine. Your words may rebuild courage in someone who is close to giving up, bring order to a confused environment, or help another person see a path they had not recognized. But first, that voice must change the way you speak to yourself. Do not continue calling yourself a failure merely because something has not yet succeeded. Do not say you are always left behind merely because another person's time arrived earlier. Do not use the words of those who wounded you to continue condemning yourself. When you change the way you speak about your journey, you also change the way you walk through it. What I am entrusting to you requires a voice that can sow hope without denying truth, support without encouraging illusion, and inspire while preserving clarity, while you are being prepared within. I am also intervening in outward circumstances in ways you cannot yet trace. Certain people are changing how they see you, even though you have not heard your name being spoken. Conversations are taking place where you are absent, yet the things you faithfully accomplished are speaking on your behalf. Decisions that currently seem unrelated to your life will eventually create pathways through which opportunity, support, and resources arrive at the right time. I do not need to create great noise in order to complete my work. Some of the deepest forms of support begin through a thought placed within the right person, an unexpected meeting, a simple introduction, or a small adjustment within a large system. When these things come together, outsiders may call it coincidence, but you will recognize the precision that quietly went before you. Do not despise movements that have not yet produced immediate results. A door may already have opened, even while you are still in the hallway. A resource may have been released, even though it has not reached your hands. Opportunity may be forming. Even though no one has officially spoken to you about it, I am teaching you to trust the process without forcing everything to appear prematurely. Your obedience in the present is the key that helps what has been prepared find you more quickly. Obedience does not mean sitting passively. It means doing what is right before you, even when you do not yet see how it connects to your future. When you care well for small responsibilities, keep your word, develop your abilities, and refuse to return to habits from which I have already called you away, you are creating harmony between the person you are today and the responsibility of tomorrow. What you once called delay often became a protective boundary. I did not want to lead you into a spacious place while you were still living from the fear of rejection, because you would have sacrificed too much in order to remain there. I did not want to place significant resources into your hands while you still viewed increase as the only evidence of your value, because you could have become imprisoned by the very thing you received. Neither did I want to entrust you with influence while your words were still controlled by wounds, because power in an unhealed heart can easily become an instrument that harms others. Therefore, I used time to build your foundation. You believed you were being held back, while I saw you being strengthened. You saw others moving ahead, while I saw you learning what would keep you from collapsing. When your own time of elevation arrived, now your capacity has become greater than before. You know how to continue without praise, how to remain kind when you are not treated fairly, and how to walk forward without needing everyone to understand. Difficult seasons did not take away your calling. They purified it. You no longer want to be seen merely to compensate for the years when you were overlooked. You want what you do to produce genuine benefit. You no longer seek increase simply to prove that you have won. You are beginning to understand that every great thing carries responsibility. Every wide door requires alertness, and every influential voice must remain protected by humility. This maturity is evidence that you can enter a new place without losing yourself. Therefore, when movement begins to accelerate, do not panic because the rhythm has changed. Things that required years of preparation may sometimes appear in a single moment. One conversation may open something for which you prayed for a long time. One decision may lead you in an entirely new direction, but do not allow excitement to make you careless. Preserve the peace that was refined through silence. Listen before committing, discern before announcing, and observe before placing your trust. Not everything that arrives quickly is wrong, but every significant thing must be received with wisdom. I did not prepare you for so long, only for you to lose your direction as soon as the door opened.